Do you like magic? I want to show you two magic tricks here. First, how to turn 45 minutes of labor into a 6-minute video. Second, how to do 45 minutes worth of labor on an amp and have it end up looking pretty much exactly the same as it did at the start. I'm not going to solder anything, I'm not going to make any electrical changes. I'm just doing the really boring behind-the-scenes janitorial level stuff that makes a huge difference. I'm going to clean all the surfaces where pots contact the brass panel and jacks and all the grounds are made. I'm going to get out all the styrofoam bits that are floating inside the amp. I'm going to clean everything thoroughly, and I'm going to take out those little bends in the front faceplate by the jewel light. Now the nut of the pilot light was really stuck on there pretty good. We did not want to move, so I gave it a squirt of WD-40, and while that sits in there and wicks into the threads, I'm removing all the pots and taking off the toothed washers and making sure that everything is looking good and there's no corrosion or obvious problems. And I'm getting out all that nasty styrofoam. And then I'm gonna clean, because we like things to be clean. A few minutes later, I can turn that nut without having to do any Herculean effort because the WD-40 does what it says on the tin. And any little drips of WD-40 I'll clean up with some isopropyl. All right, now I can get that pilot light out and I can get all that styrofoam out and I can take the front panel off so I can remove those little bends and divots. A little bit of a clean with some ISO, and I'm cleaning the little fiberboard thing that goes in the corner. Removing the bias pot so I can clean all its contact surfaces. And now I'm just removing about 60 years worth of funk and dirt and what have you. I hate what have you. We need to keep all the what have yous out of our amps, don't you agree? It's boring work, but it's worthwhile. Here I'm cleaning the front of the chassis with some isopropyl just to get the majority of the dirt off. And then for all the little bits of rust and stuff that's still a bit more stubborn, I'm gonna let some WD-40 sit on there for about 10 minutes. Then it wipes up and about 90% of all the yuck comes away. Nice to have a good base upon which to build. Now I'm cleaning all the pots and jacks and where they make contact with the chassis, and I'm cleaning these little switches, and I have that paper towel there so I don't get the deoxit on the components beneath or the board beneath. Minimizes how much cleanup I have to do later. Plus it looks pretty. It's a nice shot. Now I'm cleaning the back of the panel while I have the opportunity, because I don't think anyone will see the back of this panel again for another 20 years, hopefully. I got the bends out. I've shown how to do that before with some steel blocks and some C-clamps and a little bit of patience. Putting everything back, I start with the far left and far right knobs, which helps me line everything up, because if you start tightening things too quickly, everything can be just a little bit out of alignment at one end, and at the other end, nothing goes together. So you want to kind of sneak up on perfect. So get everything in place, kind of finger tight, but not too tight. And then you can wiggle the plate around until everything lines up just so. And then you can lock it down. So that's what I'm doing here. That bit's a bit finicky. Probably editing out some really vile cussing at that point, but I got it to work. Now I'm making sure all the wires are where they ought to be. Nothing's snarled on each other. Nothing's compressing. It's a wire between the pot body and the back of the chassis, etc. Then I like to get all the pots kind of vertical and centered before I do the final tightening. And as I tighten the jacks, I'm making sure that the little solder joints aren't stressing and breaking. That can happen. And just kind of getting it all just so, as much as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's nice when everything visually is kind of matching and balanced. It shows that you care. Also, In the process, I make sure that no wires are being strained from pot orientation. Doing the final tightening there with the proper tool. I don't have a link for you. They're out there. The one I use is no longer made. I get asked about that every video. Putting the bias pot back. Now, on the bias pot, I could not find the tooth washer for it, so I thought, that's weird. I put a new tooth washer on there. And then after I was taking this shot, I found the missing tooth washer, which you can see right there, which I will, in fact, put back where the bias pot is, so that it has all the original stuff. But there it is. Thanks for watching. Next video, we'll actually start soldering.